Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. The United States Navy this past week has responded to a Freedom of Information Act request that was filed by John Greenewald of the Black Vault, requesting that the Navy release all of its UAP videos, and they have denied this request. And of course, the Black Vault has commented on this, and I will provide a link to his website where the article is at, and you could read it for yourself. And he has the letter that he received from the Navy. And just so everyone knows, he has also indicated that he is appealing this ruling. He thinks that these things should be released. Now, I want to just say what I think is going on here. I think that the United States Navy is basically lying about their reasoning, saying that it would affect national security. I think there could be ways that these things could be released. Blur out certain portions of the video so we can't see, some of the technical aspects that were used to film the video. But anyway, I'm just going to read what the response was. This is from the Black Vault's website. There's a letter. You could read the full denial letter if you'd like, but I'm going to read these two paragraphs. It says, the UAP task force has responded back and have stated that the requested videos contain sensitive information pertaining to unidentified aerial phenomena and are classified and are exempt from disclosure in their entirety under Exemption 5 U.S.C. blah, 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 in accordance with Executive Order blah, 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 and the UAP Security Classification Guide. That was what they wrote back. And they also wrote, according to Greenewald writes, potentially seeing a justification of an appeal, the United States Navy uncharacteristically gave additional details for their decision, which cited the previous release of 3 UAP videos. He's talking about the Go Fast, the Gimbal, and the Atflir videos from 2017 that were leaked, and then later basically the government admitted, yeah, these are authentic. But anyway, this is what the Navy wrote. While 3 UAP videos were released in the past, the facts specific to those 3 videos are unique in that those videos were initially released via unofficial channels before official release. Those events were discussed extensively in the public domain. In fact, major news outlets conducted specials on these events. Given the amount of information in the public domain regarding these encounters, it was possible to release the files without further damage to national security. And of course, the Black Vault has filed an appeal seeking the release of the videos denied. Now, again, this is my belief. I think the Navy, the reason they're withholding this information is because obviously, if they were to release these videos, it would show. I mean, it would become almost. It'd be like some of them are probably a lot better. I would assume, according to people like Lou Elizondo and people in the know, there's a lot better videos than those 3 videos that were released in 2017. A lot better, that were leaked rather. So. If they were released, then it becomes, without even, someone stepping to a podium in Washington, D.C. and stating, unequivocally that, yes, there's an extraterrestrial presence on Earth, right? Some of these videos will probably, pictures will speak 1,000 words. It will just, basically inform the public outright. Okay, obviously these aren't man-made. So I think that's what the reasoning is. I don't believe the Navy at all. I think the reason they're withholding these is because they would show it would just be further fuel on the fire, and some of them might even take it over the top. Some of them, so who knows? According to Elizondo, there's been images of the occupants, and if you had an image of the occupants in one of these craft flying around that's released by the Pentagon, I mean that's the end game. I mean, this ain't like those Turkey videos that were filmed by somebody in some fishermen in Turkey back in 2007, 2008, and 2009, because debunkers could say, well, he just faked it, even though there's no evidence of fakery whatsoever. And in fact, those videos were authenticated by experts in 4 different countries. And there were multiple witnesses to at least one of the events where a group of UFO investigators, including the late Dr. Roger Lear, were on the beach and actually saw, as the fisherman was filming them, actually saw the object floating out over the Black Sea. So, but if you have the government release something like that, then it becomes undeniable. All right, so that's the reasoning here. I mean, there's ways around this. I mean, if they're concerned, the national security concern, I think, really falls back on the idea that if we release these, then the truth comes out. You know, everyone's just going to know that there's an extraterrestrial presence here, and who knows? I mean, what the implications of that will be. There's been a response on Twitter from debunkers. I mean, it seems to me. I mean, I could be wrong, but it seems to me that deep inside that they're gleeful about this. They're gleeful that that the government is decided not to release these. For one thing, Ross Coulthart, who's everyone knows these days as someone who's putting up pretty decent interviews and specials on YouTube and different documentaries talking about UFOs with different people, and he actually wrote on Twitter on September 9th, "Great work from blackvault.com. Why is the United States Navy refusing release of any of the UAP videos it holds? If, as skeptics assert, there's nothing in this, why not prove there's nothing to hide by releasing them? Congress needs to push for answers." And Mick West, the most renowned debunker we have these days, tweeted in response to that, "Is Coulthart pretending not to understand this? The Navy isn't saying they are holding back UAP videos because they show aliens. They are saying the videos reveal sensor technology and Navy capabilities and vulnerabilities, i.e. it's about the ATFLIR, not the gimbal object." So, here's what I think. I actually think that even though Mick says, like, Mick wants them, he actually signed off on this, wants them to release it, I think privately. I mean, this is just my feeling. It doesn't make me right. I think privately, people like him are actually thrilled that the government didn't release this, because if they did release these, they'd be right now having to twist themselves in the pretzels trying to debunk them. And some of them might be impossible to debunk. So this makes it a lot easier. Now, he does say he'd love... I actually tweeted to him earlier today, and he said that he'd love to see these. He'd love to have the opportunity to look at these videos. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I think that this makes it easier because now he doesn't have to, depending on the number of videos that are being withheld. I mean, if some of them show things that are impossible for certain, that for humans to achieve with regard to technology, then how you then this whole debunker show's over. It's over. I mean, one of these videos apparently that's being withheld shows some triangular object flying out of the ocean, coming out from a transmedium object. How you going to explain that? How are you going to say, well, that's some secret program? You're not going to be able to do it. And if, as some other people have stated in the past, like say Lou Elizondo has stated, that sometimes there's beings caught on camera in some of these videos. How are you going to explain that if there's some gray being with big giant black almond-shaped eyes, staring back at you? How are you going to... It's all over. The whole debunker scam is done. It's over. Right? We move on to another level of history as far as humankind is concerned, because then it's over. Because it's over. It's basically, it would be like disclosure, not done the way a lot of people would hope, with somebody standing up in a podium, or a lot of people think, and just admitting to this, but it would become undeniable then. And there'd be a lot of people in the press that would be forced to finally start, asking questions, to people in the Pentagon. But, yeah, I think it's a shame. I don't know what Greenewald's appeal will do. Maybe it will work. I don't know. Sometimes his appeals have worked in the past. I mean, the guy doesn't give up. I'll tell you that. He pushes it aside. I know a lot of people out there are upset with him, but the one thing that you got to really respect Greenewald on is, I mean, my God. I mean, of everybody out there, this guy is he's like a bulldog when it comes to the Freedom of Information Act requests. I mean, he doesn't give up. He doesn't let up. He's just like, he's the best we got when it comes to that. I mean, nobody compares. I mean, this guy just keeps doing it. And he's done it again, except he got a negative response, and he's going to try to fight it. And, congratulations for doing such a great job on this, I got to say. Again, I think the government basically is being dishonest about this whole thing. I think they've always been dishonest about it, and I don't even think it's the people that are the pilots in the Navy planes filming these things, the captains of the carriers. I don't think any of these people are in the know on any of this stuff, right? I think that the people in the know on this are people that are higher up in some secret, insulated group that nobody really, that's pretty much off the books. Nobody knows about it, that are sitting on this and make decisions with regard to UFOs. I'm not even sure. Sometimes you think someone like Susan Goff. Does she really know? Like, I think it's so. I think whoever this group is that's sitting on this information, they're afraid to release this to the public for whatever reason. It's the same. It's been going on for 75 years now. Here's another case. They're afraid of what the implications of what this will do. This would turn. It would turn. I mean, really, it will turn the world upside down. It really will. I mean, so in a way you could understand it, but in the same respect, I don't understand it, because the longer this problem is pretty much suppressed, right? The longer we suppress this, the worse it is for the human race. I mean, how could it be good not having knowledge? It's basically like there's, to me, and I've mentioned this just recently, it seems to me like the government and aliens in a way are almost like working together. Right, the aliens they have their secrecy policy. They don't want anyone knowing what they're up to. Right, they're up to something. Right, they're not just flying around on joyrides. Right, and meanwhile, the government's covering up and pretending there's nothing to it. And this has been going on for decades now in all different countries. I mean, just yesterday I was watching another documentary about that mentioned the Westall, Australia incident in 1966, and there was a science teacher there. There was a bunch of kids, over 100 witnesses. Basically, a UFO flying saucer shows up near a school. All these people, all these witnesses see it. It lands, then it takes off and disappears, and then it was in newspapers in that area. People were talking about it all over the place. And one of the adults that saw it, a science teacher, a week or two later, gets approached by members of the military, the Australian Air Force, and is told that you better be quiet about this. And if you're not, we're going to say you're a drunk and you were drunk in class, and then you're going to lose your job. I mean, so you had threats throughout history like that. I mean, not just in America with Roswell, but you see it everywhere. In different countries. Hey, keep quiet about this or you're going to get arrested, or you're going to lose your job, or going to ruin your life. So you have, basically, it seems when you look at this in totality, it seems like the governments are basically doing what the aliens want them to do. Keep this from the public. Don't let them know what they're doing. Don't let them know that they're here. So then everyone's oblivious to it. The scientific community is oblivious to it, doesn't study it whatsoever because they think it's a joke. Right, and so this is just another example of that. Another example of that. I mean, I actually think when you think about, like, for instance, Men in Black, I believe actually this. This is what I think after studying this issue over all these years. Right, I believe Men in Black are actually, sometimes I think they were actually government officials who are charged with going to people who had experiences or sightings of flying saucers or aliens and telling them to shut up because they don't want that to get out to the public, right? I think sometimes it's actually the alien beings themselves probably sending out some version of a hybrid dressed up in black coats and black suits and hats to scare people. So it's almost like they're working in tandem with each other. It's almost like by the government continuing to do this, they're doing the aliens' bidding. They're helping the alien cause. So that's what I see here. And I know, the problem is that a lot of people are just so outside of, they just have no idea what's going on with this. And if they were to hear this, to them, it sounds crazy. Yeah, it does sound crazy. But They're here. They're up to something. Some people say it's a hybridization program, right? And they're trying to basically absorb humankind. They're trying to basically colonize the planet, possibly. That's why he explains cattle mutilations and everything. And meanwhile, the government sits back, doesn't let the public know what's going on. Why? Why? Because the problem is, by keeping this secret and doing things like this, right? Withholding stuff like this, withholding these videos. Again, they could be released in some different format that's not going to affect any kind of national security, and that's why I think the reason when they say national security, they're concerned about what it's going to do if they're released. It is going to, in their minds, it's going to affect national security because everyone's going to know then. They're going to know. People are going to start waking up to the reality of what's going on here, because there are things here. Right? There's a lot of us out there that have seen these things and have had all kinds of encounters, many of us, and understand that, yes, there's most certainly something going on. And by continuing to do this, it just makes it easier, makes it better. It's actually setting things up beautifully for these visitors, whatever they're doing, whatever they're up to. Is it too late? I don't know, but I think to start being able to understand this better and figure out exactly what they're up to, what these beings are doing here, right? You need to let the whole world in on it. You just can't have an elite few, right, sitting in dark rooms, secure places, talking about this and going over the data. You need everybody. You need particularly the entire scientific community involved. But this is, I don't think. Regarding this appeal, I doubt it will work. But hey, you never know. John Greenewald is a bulldog when it comes to this, and maybe this will bear fruit, but it doesn't look good right now.